A heated hearing on Capitol Hill yesterday as the president of Planned Parenthood, Cecile Richards, testified before the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform. Miranda Kahn has more from our Newsmax newsroom.
Reactions from lawmakers keep pouring in after yesterday's hearing on Planned Parenthood.
Well, I believe there were a lot of good questions that were asked of Ms. Richards. I think there were things that were revealed that are going to be interesting to the public that maybe they perhaps didn't know about previously. And so I think all in all, it was a good hearing.
Yesterday, President of Planned Parenthood, Cecile Richards, was on Capitol Hill defending federal funding for the organization. Several Republican lawmakers criticized her for wasting taxpayer dollars.
Planned Parenthood is an organization with massive salaries. Ms. Richards makes nearly $600,000 a year. Roughly, they're spending $14,000 a day on travel. That's a lot. That's money that isn't going to women's health care.
Democrats fired shots at Republicans, meanwhile, criticizing lawmakers for being disrespectful to Richards. Now back to you.
Thanks, Miranda. For more, let's bring in our panel. First from Newsmax, Washington, Ford O'Connell, the noted Republican strategist, and Skyping in from Tampa, Florida, Democratic media strategist and the vice president of KateCom Public Relations, Franco Ripple. Now, it's interesting, all this back and forth, and Ford today, we heard from different mainstream media organizations that Chairman Chaffetz and the committee blew its chance against Planned Parenthood. Your take on that hearing yesterday?
I don't think they blew their chance at all. I do think we're going to have to revisit this question, have a select committee. The idea that Planned Parenthood basically gets $500 million from the federal government, pays its staff $600,000 or more, and the fact that they say that they do a lot of things and give $12 million to political outfits is a little highly questionable how they spend their money. We also need to find out, based on the videos, whether or not they're violating the 1993 NIH Revitalization Act. If they are, they should be punished for it.
Franco, when I heard that the Washington Post and all the editorial writers, the editorial board, signed a lead editorial saying Republicans were exaggerating, I knew the leftist fix was in. And sure enough, there's Cecile yesterday, and she is saying, oh, the outrage of these heavily edited videos. Come on, man. The stuff they talk about on those videos is brutal and horrific.
Well, and the question I have is I'm glad you brought up those videos. Why are we not asking more information about the organization that, potentially illegally created these videos? There's a lot of fabricated, a lot of questionable information. And look, this isn't about abortion. You know what? I have a little boy, and I can't imagine not having him in my life. But the fact is, it was my and my wife's choice. It was my wife's choice, frankly, to have that child. And women across America deserve to have that same choice to choose what's right for them, especially in cases of rape and incest. Yesterday's hearing,
believe it or not, during the congressional testimony, the videos were actually authenticated. So a lot of the talking points about whether this was fabricated or bogus, she might have even actually lied under oath, Cecile Richards, when she actually made that comment. Again, we're going to have to find out more about this. But I agree with you. This is not actually about abortion. This is about the character of our nation. Are we actually brutal barbarians, or are we going to show some sort of humanity? Because some of what is suggested in these videos, based on the procedures, is highly unquestionable and should horrify you, whether you're pro-choice or pro-life.
Franco, I want to take a look at some numbers and then get your comments on it. This comes from a poll done for CBS News and the New York Times. Apparently, 60% of women questioned support federal funding of Planned Parenthood. Only 33% do not support it. People can be educated on the issues, but do you think, Franco, this is a winner for the Democrats, the backing of Cecile Richards, no matter what?
Well, first of all, just like marriage equality, this should not even be a political question. Conservatives love to paint themselves as rugged individualists, every man for himself, the right to make one's own choice, in an Ayn Rand kind of environment. Why is it that conservatives have such a hard time with letting women make choices for themselves? And frankly, the way that Ms. Richards was treated yesterday in that congressional hearing Representative Connolly from Virginia said it best. It was disrespectful and it was misogynist, and it shows us what's going on here.
But
yeah, right on cue. Right on cue. There's the allegation of misogyny. Government. Let me ask you about that, Ford. To have the gentleman from Virginia talk about misogyny, is that going to inure to the Democrats' favor, in your opinion, Ford?
No, because the Democrats want to play the war on women over and over, and what the Republicans have to understand is right now this is a base issue for Republicans. If they want to turn this into a national issue, they're going to have to actually educate the public. Do you realize that less than 50% of the American public is following this stuff, or even these videos? What the Republicans have to understand is what the American public doesn't know. I thought one of the great questions brought up in this hearing was the fact that Planned Parenthood, after all the talking heads, folks like Franco, saying they had mammograms, we found out they don't have one mammogram machine at any of the Planned Parenthood clinics.
That was revealing, and gentlemen, we will have to leave it there. Franco Ripple, Ford O'Connell, you have our thanks. Up next, more with Reverend Franklin Graham on his dad, Reverend Billy Graham's new book. That's straight ahead, so stay with us.